I bought my favorite boat haul, used, borrowed a trailer and brought it home. After home, cleaned off the years of scum, bought a good used boat trailer and drew it on. After this, I hung a brand new 100 horsepower Honda engine on the back and I began designing my dream boat console. First with cardboard and then with wood so I could get a better idea of what I wanted. And then there was a lot of this and this, a lot of this right here, some of this, plenty of this, and eventually I built my dream boat console. Version 1, rough draft, and I got to put it in the water and use it all last season, and I just love this thing. Now it has no finish work, as you can see here. It's rough and dirty, but it was, like I said, the rough draft. And our family just adored it and used it so much, but this winter now, we're taking it back in the shop, disassembling it, and it's going to get the finish work. Some modifications, some improvements, and ultimately, it's just going to get finished. Welcome to the episode, guys. In the last video, I ended off with showing the installation of a diesel heater. At least we started it. This is to help with defrost, to keep my glass clean in the cooler months. And here we are, going ahead with that now. That was the exhaust port in, but now we're doing the dash vent here. We're in the final stages, honestly, guys, for this project here. As we're heading through, there's not a ton of fab to do this season, but there are some structural changes, like here in the roof line, of course, that I did want to take care of before we get to the finish work. Here we go. Let's give it a shot. Oh, yeah. We can pop that off as well, but this rotates. Blow heat up across the glass from this corner. Probably run it that way. Oh yeah. Now this part was very exciting to dig into for me, and that is to finally really see some finished results on this. Last year it was just bare rough aluminum, still had the flap wheel marks, still had the Sharpie writings of measurements over it, and I used it for the whole season like that because it was the rough draft. Now what I've done is I've used my random orbit sander, and I've taken this console all over with 60 grit first and then up to 80 grit, and now I'm hitting it with an acid etch primer to give a good bond to this before we coat it. So just to reiterate the stages, that 60 grit sanding, 80 grit sanding, washed down with acetone, coated with this super acid etch primer, which I have found really great over the years. I really like it. And look at this kind of battleship gray look. I almost considered sticking with this color. It looks awesome, I think, but I'm going to go with white. Now, while this primer is curing, we're going to go on to some other fabrication work, something entirely new for this winter's project. Alright, here we are in front of the boat, the bow of the boat. Isn't that just a beautiful shaped boat? Oh, it's so nice. I just love the shape of these hulls, guys. I think they did such a fantastic job. But what I'm about to embark on now is going to be probably the biggest transformational part of this winter's work, and that is on the bow of the boat, which is beautiful, but I want to make every inch of this boat as useful as possible. And I just love playing. And it might be a little case of fixing what ain't broke, that type of thing, or meddling or playing. Now he's just playing. To a degree, that's what all of this is, right? That whole console, I could have ran the boat with a tiller forevermore. Nothing else in the boat, a gas can and a tiller. But we're having fun, and I want to change the boat, and I'm learning skills, and I'm getting ideas in my mind that I want to see come to fruition. So why not go for it? Why not go for it? Now, as you've seen in quite a few videos, my girls love being in the bow of the boat. Mackerel here, guys, in the water. don't blame them. The bow is a beautiful beautiful place to be. It's where I spent most of my time in the speedboat as a kid. I wanted to be up in the bow, even nose looking over the bow of the boat. I love it. There's a problem with that for my little ladies, and that is this seat here, which is not really intended to be a seat. It's a step point getting in and out of the boat, that type of thing. It is not very deep in the boat, and so not much of a freeboard here. And so it always leaves me a little uneasy, especially when there's a little bit of sea on, about the girls, because they don't sit down like I just did. They want to do this, right? This is how they want to be. Now, I know I look giant hanging out of the boat there. They're very teeny, so they sit down in the boat sensibly, but I want some type of guarding to hold them in. I want some type of a rail structure for safety's sake. Now, there is one other issue I want to address, and again, it comes down to we're playing here. What can we get out of this 20-foot open boat? So far, we've milked a lot out of this boat. What more can we get? Now, here's where you're saying, some of you are saying, this guy is officially nuts. I get it, I'll take it. I don't know what's in here. I'm expecting a wooden stem. I have no idea. I have no idea. So we're going to snip this off as close to the plane as we can. So like I said, our aluminum can sit flat on the gunnels, come right off the nose of the boat. We'll do a nice thick rim, maybe frame it in with some tubing. We'll see. I said I wasn't going to do any fiberglass work in the shop here, but this little snip shouldn't be much. Fiberglass cuts like butter with an angle grinder and cutoff wheel. Look how much glass is in this keel. I think this is like maybe, that's probably a standard 2x4. It looks about there. But this looks to be some type of synthetic. Maybe like a keel saver or something inside. And then that's, she's 3/4 of an inch glass there, I bet. Which is very, very cool. Nice to see. No wonder you see the keels of some of these from running in the beach all chewed up, huge chunks taken out of it, and it's not a big deal. You have this much glass. That's pretty good. You see we have a nice flat surface now. Of course, I'm going to soak this multiple times in resin. Let this really saturate with resin, maybe even an epoxy, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of kitty hair, some matte over this, just a couple layers, just so it's nice and durable and protected. Don't want anything soaking down in this keel from the top here.
Alright, you guys know I like templates. Here I am cutting from wood onto some 1/4 inch aluminum plate for the bow pulpit, I'll call it.
You have to do a
happen.
Pretty. Well, eventually all the nails in there are going to build up pressure and just burst the stump.
You think?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great, that's a smart thought.
Most of my nails are pretty. Almost every nail, I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. Hammer it in. Okay, not it.
Okay, let's put some rims around our front panel. Really excited. This is turning out great. I think it's going to look great on the boat. I just wanted to mention, guys, I've been wanting to comment on it for a while. This machine here, this is a Lincoln Electric. This is the 140 MP, the MP for multi-process. I've had this machine for years, way before I ever came to this workshop here. And it is just an absolutely incredible machine. I ran standard MIG on it for years, just standard mild steel MIG. I have the TIG set up. Now it's a DC machine, so it will only TIG steel, ferrous metals. But if you get the spool gun, which I have right here, you can weld aluminum, and it does so good. It's rated for, I think, up to 1/8, maybe 3/16 aluminum. I can't quite remember now, but it punches way beyond that. I've welded way beyond that with incredible results. A little bit slower, harder on the machine, of course, but I have done it, and it's just an incredible machine. An incredible machine. This thing just runs dreamy smooth, like silk. I love it. I can't say enough good things about this machine, and it's got a lot of hours on it now. It's wonderful. Really wonderful. I run the TIG when it's welds that I don't intend to grind off, that I want real nice, because I can get them real pretty. But when it's something that I know I'm going to be grinding smooth anyways, spool gun, you can just run so fast and heavy. Just pour loads of filler in there. It saves on gas. It's cheaper. Spool gun is the way to go for quick. And that's not to say that spool gun has to be ugly, dirty work. It's not as clean as TIG, but you could do some really nice spool gun work.
In most cases, guys, with projects like this, what I'm doing here, I don't have too much of an outline before I start. I just make a start, I just jump on the task, and then you're in it. And maybe I'll move it this way, maybe I'll bend it that way, maybe I'll put this curve here, and if I think it needs a little more radius, I'll do so, or if I think it needs a little bit longer. At this point here, I don't know how the front of this is going to look. So that is the quick and dirty way of doing it right there, guys. Tack it down the straight, and then just bend a little, tack, bend a little, tack, bend a little, tack, bend a little, and then run out that straight. That's the quickest way to get really nice, consistent results. Look at that.
she is. Not too bad.
Now that we've just about got this nose platform complete, we can start thinking about railing and what features we want to add to this. And I have a few crazy ideas in mind.
My girls just love to, they say beach it. They love to beach it. They want to go in and get off on some random beach, any beach they see that's a decent beach with some sand or pebbles. They want to get off. Can we beach it? Right? They want to get off and collect rocks and collect shells and pedal around and have fun. I get it. I loved doing that when I was a kid as well. It is a pain, an absolute pain, to get in and out of the nose of these boats on the beach. And we're not down in your tropical waters with a sandy bottom where you can just, you know, pull in 10 or 12 feet from shore and you can hop out in the water up to your knees and it's beautiful warm water. It's not like that here. And the water is cold here. This is North Atlantic water, so it's nice and cold. So you want to haul the bow of the boat up in the beach, which is what you do. You know, you just run in and run the bow up. But the bow of that boat then is like 4 feet off the beach. My kids can't even come close to seeing in over the bow. So I want to see if we can make a way to make that bow more accessible in over. I want something there. Now here's where my mind is running wild. It gets a little bit crazy. I want to see if I can build a drop-down ladder. That is the front of the boat when it's up. And then it drops down. It works in theory. It works in theory on my sketches. And then it drops down and there's a little ladder, just a one rung foot grab, that type of thing. I may have to do a little bifold ladder so it drops and then it folds out again to get low enough. Because again, this bow is high out of the water when it's on the beach. You got 4 feet there. That's the intention. Easy. The girls can operate it, flick the pins out, drop some type of a ladder. They can hop down while I stay in at the console. They can flip it up themselves and have a blast on the beach. We can try. We can try.
You see this little bit of stick out here beyond the uprights. That's going to be trimmed off after. Just making sure I've got plenty now. Let's let this sit for a minute. Remember we primed that console? Well, we're about to throw a coat of paint on there.
Oh, look at that. Oh, baby.
For your reference, this is a trim clad specifically made for metal, has the primer built in, and this is gloss white. Nothing special. I wanted to be easy for touch-ups in the future. So I was originally thinking about doing, you know, an automotive paint, spraying it, gloss, maybe something metallic, something real nice, maybe a couple stages. But I thought, you know, this is bound, given the setting that it's in, bound to get scratched up and chipped and nicked. And maybe I want to add a bracket here or a post here or something later on and make changes. And if this is finished to that degree, I'm just not going to be able to do that. Every patch is going to look horrible. At least if I just finish it like this, I can reasonably just give it a coat of paint back over later, and I can still keep this thing modular and universal like I want.
He proclaimed it to disciples, to enemies, and to casual inquirers alike.
Got that white, got 2 coats of trim clad high gloss white there now, and it is looking pretty good. There's just a scattered streak here and there, but very, very minimal. So, real happy. I'll go over it once more. Maybe not a full coat, but close to a full coat. And it's really super white. Of course, it'll be toned down because a lot of it will be covered up. And it'll bake a little more yellow in the sun, no doubt. but it is uber white right now. See that gloss finish? Look how good that looks. Till we get the gauges and the wheel. I'm planning on doing some type of a dash panel. I think I'm going to wrap a bunch of this console for protection and for style. But of course, since you get the radio and the lights all up around and the wiper motor there and all the stuff in the dash, it'll just cover a lot of stuff up. The lights up there, the window panels and the seal strip and the black trim on the sharp edges. Really pleased. After that first coat, I was pretty nervous. It looked pretty shabby looking. But now, after second coat, oh, it's even right out. Looking lovely. Alright guys, let me show you what's going on here. Of course you saw we've been following through the fab work, a bunch of minor modifications on the console. The roofline is actually fairly major. You can see here in the background just how prominent that roofline is now, where before it was like an uncapped rough draft. Now it looks magnificent. It looks beautiful, it looks proud, it's sitting out there, and it just looks great on the boat. Now what I've been picking at alongside of that, and I really mean picking at, just here and there head scratching because I really don't know what I'm doing on this section, and that is some bow railing. You can see what I have going on here now. Let me catch you guys up to what's going on, and let's continue tinkering with it today. And that's what we're doing. We're tinkering here with this. This is a learning process for me. It's very much less cut and dried than a lot of the work that I do, where it's just a lot of eye. You're just eyeballing it. I don't know how else to do this type of thing other than eyeball, because there's nothing. You're dealing with the shape of a boat that has curves and flares, and the boat itself isn't perfect. Nothing is perfectly symmetrical. And so the best I can do is make, really good sight line adjustments and try to get something in place and then build it in solid after. So lots of tacking, maneuvering. Let's have a look here. Let me show you what I've got going on. So basically I made this pulpit, guys. It's totally standalone. I built that. It's in place, just tacked to the gunnels with a couple screws. And then from there I made two railings, and they're just tacked up here. And they're held here in midair now by these two like woodworking clamps. And I'm just trying to figure out how to tie everything in and where to mount it and how to mount it and that sort of thing. This boat is not exactly designed for bow rails, so you don't have a big flat gunnel that you can walk on and screw to. This is a traditional Newfoundland style boat with synthetic or PVC plastic gunnels for fishing over the sides. No wasted space in the boat with 6 or an 8-inch gunnel to stand on. No wasted space in these boats. It's a hull with a rib on top. That's what you have. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I've got, you can see some tape over here where I'm figuring out the line of the uprights. That's what I'm just about to start tacking in now. See if we can get something in place here. My idea is to be able to tack everything where it should go outside the boat, do a good job tacking it, and then take the whole thing out and it be one solid piece. Totally weld it, grind it all out and everything out on the concrete floor, and then when it's done it can just go all in as one unit, smack down in the boat. That's the goal. I really, really like the line. I like the dimension of the tubing. I like how it really builds the boat up. Even though it's just thin railing, it throws the nose of the boat up in the air and just makes the boat look bigger, more grand, which is nice because that console got a little bit taller again this year. It's nice to have the nose of the boat feel like it's higher. Really liking that. Now you can see this pulpit here is nice and big. Smaller size and an adult is able to sit up here and let their feet hang out over, no problem. What I've designed, and I have to make this simple, guys, because the hope is that little kids can operate it, this drop down ladder type thing here. And this is just rough draft right now. You can see Everything is rough, but it's nice and simple. This hangs on a heavy hinge, you can see, and nothing's in its final place yet, just tack. I have a simple spring lever here. You can see I have this tab, nice heavy spring, but not too heavy. And this keeps this nose in place. Again, this is just everything's just tacked. Couple screws, couple framing screws holding that down yet. But this is meant so they can just push the lever and that drops down like you see here. And it snaps back in place, a little keeper up underneath here. And hopefully when they hop back in the boat, they should be able to easily lock that back in place. I think I may shorten this up enough so that when they bring it up, it slaps in place. Right now there's a little too much tab, so it doesn't slap in place itself. But if I angle it just right, no, not able to do it. Almost. Not able to do it there yet, but with a little shaping here, I think I could dial it in where that would be just flat closed like a gate. That's the idea. So again, just to show you guys from a different angle, so you'll be able to hop up here, which is 16 inches wide, plenty of wide, and they could just flip this, and they've got a drop down little foothold. Hopefully they can grab two hands. My goal, I'm not totally sold on the concept of this. I love how it works. Love how it works. It's just so smooth. It'll be so great for little kids. What I'm not sure of is it's still not low enough to the ground. What I need is some type of a bifold, another ladder that can come out of this. That's what I need. We'll figure it out. Not as concerned about this because if this ladder is not operational for this year, if I don't get to this, it can sit like this, and most boats don't have this anyways, obviously. Just to have a nice set of bow rails and to sit like this for the summer would be great, but that's the intention, to get that dialed in. Right now, what I have to get is to finish out these rails. Okay, let's see if I can wrap my skull around this. Of course, they're angled, so this pivot matters. But if I can get an idea in my eye line, if I could tack this, and I've got the plate tacked on, 160 inches from the rear corner on this side, 160 up on that side. Are they going to be perfect? Nobody knows, but I'm going to tack this in place and tack this in place. Then I can remove these and kind of let it settle, and then I'll fill in between. That's the idea. Shooting in the dark here, guys. So we'll draw that in now. Remember, it's just tacked up in the nose, so it's very movable still. We'll sit her in the center on top of this. Okay, we're tacked. Let me stick one, just another one right here. All tacked in, everything tacked in place, and I'm probably going to regret not waiting for Dad for this next part. 3 or 4 tacks on each joint, so I don't think it'll break up. That is one difficulty with aluminum, is aluminum's so soft. Like on steel, you put a good tack, it's held there quite well. You can move around and bend it around a nice bit without that tack fracturing. But with aluminum, aluminum stretch fractures. Aluminum cannot work at all. It just, with every bend, it weakens exponentially. Substantially. I don't know if it's exponential or not, but yeah. So it can't bend and flap around too much before it'll just break all to pieces. You gonna hold? Oh yeah, baby. That's the beauty of aluminum right there. This is honestly, watch this. Now I'm about 3 times stronger than the average man, but isn't that incredible?
So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you're liking what we're doing with the boat here. This is as much content as I have to show you today. Make sure you come back for the next part. Check out knives.ca. Shop for all of your knife needs. If you don't see something on there that you need, head to the knife services page on there. Go down bottom to the contact tab, and you can reach me very easily. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be on the water soon.